Hi there, here's Frederick from Saber, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate some of the basic features of our golden harvest board. In particular, we'll have a closer look at the motion detection engine and at how to access all of our board's features using 2 momentary buttons or even only 1 single momentary button, respectively. Let's start with igniting our Saber, and after that I'll perform some motions for you. The heart of our board is not only its highly sophisticated motion detection, but also its full-blown effect engine. So in total, we've got really more than 600 parameters which you can adjust using our easily usable online configurator in order to create your very own unique style for your Saber. You can literally invent your own light effects with it. First, let's just have a short look at the clash effects, just as an example. Yeah, as you can see, they smoothly fade out back to the basic effects. You can both customize the duration of the clash effects and this fade out effect. And these are only just 2 examples of the parameters you can adjust using our online configurator. The amazing thing is that all the parameters are independently configurable for all states of the Saber. That means you can customize the clash effects in the same manner as the effects of the idle mode of the Saber, which we call the basic mode. In the same way, you can configure also the step effects, log up effects, blaster effects, force effects, and even swing and spin effects. All the parameters that define the whole style of your Saber are summarized to so-called effect fonts, which can be changed on the fly by a simple double click on the power button. Whereas one effect font could create a slightly flickering blue plate like this, another effect font could create a stable green plate like this, and yet another effect font could create a strongly flickering red plate, for example, as the next one. Yeah, as you can see, it's not only possible to change the color, but even the whole style of your Saber, including clash effects, step effects, and so on and so forth. This is really cool because even if you don't want to use an RGB LED, but a single color plate instead, you can define different effect styles and change them on the fly as well. So let's assume you've got a red plate, a single color red plate. If you're using this single color red plate, you could change between a stable red plate, a strongly flickering red plate like this, or a pulsing red plate, for example. But of course, there are also Saber enthusiasts out there who don't want to create their own effects. Therefore, our golden harvest board comes with a well-working set of default parameter settings, such that you don't have to change any parameter at all if you don't want to. Next, we'll change the sound font. This can be simply done by a short press on the auxiliary button before the Saber is ignited. Yeah, this is our next font. Another nice feature of our golden harvest board is the effect font to sound font pairing. Oh, this is quite loud. Our board remembers for each sound font with which effect font it was used lastly. That means you could assign a blue plate to a Jedi font and a red plate to a Sith font, for example. And every time you change the sound font, then the corresponding effects will be loaded. But I'll show you this on another Saber. Here it is. That's the Saber I've prepared for you. On this Saber, I've already paired the effect fonts and sound fonts. First, let's start with the sound font called Balance by LordBlako Saber fonts. Here we have a nice blue plate with a slight flicker effect. If we now change the sound font to Psy-Borg by CrystalSoniX, which is a dark font, we'll get a red plate with a strong flicker effect that fits nicely to the style of the sound font. Yeah, you can see we've got a very beautiful, strongly flickering red plate, which supports nicely the perception of the sound font. So before I'll show you the navigation using 2 momentary buttons, I'll just show you something I forgot to mention before in the section of light effects. That is the usage of accent LEDs. So our board provides 4 different and independent LED channels, which each can provide up to 4 ampere. So the board handles each of these 4 LED channels completely identical. So that means the board, or better speaking, the effect engine, doesn't make any difference between accent LEDs and plate LEDs. So if you're using an RGB LED, for example, you can use channels 1, 2, 3 for the plate LEDs, RGB, and the 4th channel can be used, for example, to drive a switch or another accent LED. And now the amazing thing is that you can use the full range of the effect engine in order to customize the effects for your accent LEDs. By that you can create amazing switch LED lighting, or you can invent own chamber effects, which is also very interesting, for example. So, and if you change the effect fonts, then you'll also change the behavior, or you're able to change the behavior of the accent LEDs. So in this effect font you see we've got a pulsing switch LED, a pulsing accent LED, which shows a very interesting kind of pulse effect. It's our effect called hyperpulse. This is a pulse effect which changes its speed over time. I really like that effect. And it's also completely customizable. You can change the speed of the fastest pulse section, the speed of the slowest pulse section, or better speaking pulse phase, and you can change the speed of the variation between the 2 speeds of the pulse effect. So I just show you that. So in this effect font, for example, we've got a slowly pulsing LED, and in this effect font we've got a a quickly pulsing LED. So next we'll come to accessing all of our board's features using 2 momentary buttons. And we'll start with igniting our Saber. So the Saber can be ignited by a short press on the power button. So this is the power button here, and this is the auxiliary button. So let's do that. This is our ignition. And then, the first thing I want to mention is how to trigger the blaster, force, and lockup effects. So the blaster effect can be triggered by a short press on the auxiliary button here. So this is the blaster effect. The force effect can be triggered by a fast double click on the same button, on this auxiliary button here. So this effect is quite long, because on this sound font this force effect takes, I think, 20 seconds, but it's really beautiful. So we wait. And here you see the fade out effect. It really started green and now it's red again, smoothly. So yeah, this is the force effect, and the lockup effect can be triggered by holding this button. So the other thing is changing the effect font. I think you've already seen that before in this video. It's just a double click on the power button. Yeah. And changing the sound font is also clear because we did it many times in this video. Well, not really many times, but sometimes. So it can be done by a short press on the auxiliary button before the Saber is ignited. So let's show that.
There's only one return, and it ain't up to King.
Yeah, and sound font is changed. Yeah, that's the navigation using 2 momentary buttons. And now I'll configure the Saber to use only 1 single momentary button, and then I'll come back. So see you in a few seconds. So here I'm back again. I've just configured this Saber for the usage with only 1 single momentary button using our online configurator, and this pulsing button here is the button we'll use to access all of our board's features now. So we can ignite it by a short press on this button here. Then we can trigger blaster effects by a short press on this button. And we can trigger force effects by a fast double click on this button. The next feature is accessing the lock-up effect, and that's possible by pressing shortly this button and then holding it. Yeah. Now the next point is changing the effect fonts. So as we've got only 1 single momentary button, we need a menu for that. So you can access the effect menu by just holding this button, yeah, and then pressing it shortly after that. So you hear now we are in the menu, and by each short click on this button, the effect font changes. Yeah. And once you're satisfied with your effect font, once you want to select it, just hold this button whoop, until this beep sound comes, which confirms your selection. And yeah, these are almost all of the features except from the sound font change, which I'll show you now. Yeah, which can be done by holding this button instead of clicking it for a short time to ignite it.
Balance.
Yeah. Now, and remember, ignite it with a short press. Yeah, and that's it. All of our board's features using only 1 single momentary button. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. It gave only a short glance at all the features of our Golden Harvest board. There are many more features available, and yeah, if you want to see a demo for a particular feature, just write in the comments or write us a mail to info@sabertech.net. I know we are quite old-fashioned in that way, so yeah, you can still write us a mail. So yeah, see you then, and bye.